One day, the little prince, full of questions and curiosity, traveled to the land of shadows. This land was filled with shadows that lived, and each had their own story. As the little prince walked through one of the shadowy alleys, he saw a sad shadow. The shadow looked at the little prince and asked in a quiet voice, "What is sadder than coming and no one being happy?" The little prince thought for a moment and replied, "Perhaps leaving and no one noticing." The shadow, with a bitter smile, responded, "Yes, leaving and no one noticing. That is the saddest thing." The little prince continued his walk and saw another shadow that was laughing loudly and constantly making comments. The little prince approached and asked, "Why do you make so many comments?" The shadow replied, "That is the sign of foolishness. When you comment on everything, you show how ignorant you are." In the land of shadows, the little prince saw a fox that was always alone. The little prince asked the fox, "Why don't you fall in love with any strange flower?" The fox replied, "Falling in love means responsibility. If you get tired and leave, the flower will be lonelier and more hurt." The little prince, deep in thought, said to himself, "Do we not understand each other?" The fox approached and said, "Two enemies can understand each other well, but friendships are full of misunderstandings." The little prince asked the fox, "What does it mean to be deceived?" The fox, with a kind look, said, "If you don't take risks, you remain alone. Sometimes you have to take the plunge." Still pondering, the little prince asked, "When will things get better?" The fox replied firmly, "When you realize that everything depends on you. No one can make decisions for you." At the end of his journey, the little prince encountered a flower being blown around by the wind. The little prince asked, "Where are the people?" The flower, with a bitter look, replied, "The wind blows them everywhere. This rootlessness has become a real trouble for them." The little prince, filled with new experiences and wisdom, returned to his planet, determined never to forget the importance of love, friendship, and responsibility in life. This story, full of important lessons and beautiful phrases, can captivate YouTube audiences and make them think deeply. The Little Prince, with his simple questions and profound answers, shows us life in a different way.